Here's your host, Grounded Geek.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. The podcast is really live here on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And we are grateful that you still got my glasses on. Take those off. It's Sunday night, 7 p.m. And this is when we chat. We chat about pop culture. We get excited about things that other people are excited about and geek out over those things. Tonight, we're geeking out over a very special guest. Very excited to talk to him. Hopefully he will be here in about 15 minutes. We're going to talk to him. But in the meantime, I have some stuff that I need to talk about with these guys. So let's bring them on. It's Utah and Aaliyah. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Greetings, programs.
Hey.
I always wave, and I realize that the audio listeners cannot.
Okay, well, Aaliyah,
now they know that you did.
They wouldn't have known if you hadn't said anything.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been like, what's she waving for? But, we're live right now on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. So anybody who would happen to tune in there or watch it later, they get to see Aaliyah wave. This is what you miss when you listen to the podcast. You miss Aaliyah waving.
Yeah.
So this is the premium content that we offer here at World Gone Geek. You don't want to miss it. Be here live for that.
Here. They'll miss this too.
What do you got there, Utah? Tell us what that is.
This finally arrived. It's another addition to my Transformers collection. This is
that. Is that like new, based on the new Top Gun, or is that just like the old?
No, this is based on the old Top Gun. So this is a transforming F-14 Tomcat that transforms into a robot named Maverick.
Autobot or Decepticon?
Autobot, I believe. Yes, right. Autobot.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it's canon or not, but they've been doing some Transformers collabs with other franchises. Yeah, like they did the Ghostbusters one. I've got an Ecto 1 Transformer.
Oh my gosh, I want that.
I also had they did two of them. They did an Ecto 1 Transformer, and then they also did an Ecto Prime, which is basically an Optimus Prime Ghostbusters Transformer.
What?
So instead of being the red and silver, he's all white and red and green.
That's funny.
And then they did the Back to the Future one with the DeLorean, which I also have. So
now see, I would have liked that too. I don't pay attention to a lot of those Transformers. Like I haven't really.
Because you're not a hoarder like
in years. No, I haven't gotten a Transformer since I was younger, and then. Honestly, my boys, they had a few. We got some back when Nathan was really young. I remember how difficult it was to transform them.
Well, so
he would get them. We would try to figure it out, and then we'd be done with that present because
that was one of my. That was one of my issues.
Into a truck again. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that was one of my issues when Michael Bay Transformers movies came out.
Yeah,
the Transformers that came out for those movies, those toys were so difficult to transform.
It's like I'd rather work on a Rubik's Cube. I think I might actually be able to solve that.
They basically were. They were. I feel like they forgot that these Transformers toys originally were for kids.
Right.
And so they didn't care that it was, 135 steps to transform between one or the other, when like the Optimus Prime from our generation from the cartoon is like 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you remember GoBots?
Yeah, they were the.
That was like 2. It was like car.
It's like
GoBot.
Like, right. Open up.
Like
open
no
up.
moving parts other than
than like the hinge.
Yeah. That was the
rip-off. I hate to say it, but we called those like the cheap man's Transformers, because even I did that too. My mom would like, hey, here you go. It's like, it's not a Transformer, Mom.
That's a GoBot, Mom.
I'm not taking this to school.
Yeah. It's kind of, I'm trying to think of the equivalent today, but it's like, it's tough. You wanted a Transformer, and your mom got you 3 GoBots for the price of 1 Transformer, and it's like,
right. And that's what they thought. They're like, look, it's.
But I had them. They were still fun, and there are people out there who are probably nostalgic about the GoBots too. So I don't want to take that away from anybody.
No, not at all, not at all.
But yeah, it was. I mean, I was way more into Transformers, so I did not appreciate getting a GoBot instead.
What about you, Aaliyah?
Yeah, what about you when you were a kid? What was the toy that you asked for, but then there was I don't know,
Like, did you ask for a Cabbage Patch and they gave you like the cornfield doll instead?
yeah, what was the
The Cabbage
substitute
Patch?
that was the most egregious when you were a kid getting a gift?
Um,
And I say this with full understanding that what you say is probably something I got for my kids because you're like the same age. I'm about to hear how disappointed they were
Like
through
instead of
you.
instead of an actual Care Bear, we got you like the Heart Bear.
Yeah.
no, because I didn't ask for really anything as a kid. So it's very
Oh.
hard for me to say that. Like the things that I got as a child were not asked. And the reason I was given them was because I always had really good grades. So I always
Mm.
got the best gifts as a child. Like I will never forget, like there's two really big things that my parents got me that I'll never forget.
Nintendo?
I got a Game Boy Advance,
Okay.
Oh, nice. A
and that was
GBA.
when
Nice.
I had, really good grades. And then that Christmas, I literally woke up and I had an air hockey table with my name
Wow.
on it.
Wait,
That's
you had
cool.
a personalized hockey table?
Not,
Like it had
with my-
Aaliyah across the
It was
no,
engraved in the center of the ice.
in the
like-
surface? Right.
no, my mom just put like a Post-it note that said Aaliyah on it.
Oh.
But I was just, I never really asked for anything. I think like, I don't know. I mean, even the games that I played, I had like Beyblades and
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
know,
Beyblades.
I remember those.
yeah, like Beyblades. But I didn't ask for really
Oh,
anything.
that's-
I'm one
that's
of those
another thing.
weird children that didn't really ask for
The
anything.
But you
Pokemon
still
Digimon
got
thing is
cool
kind of the
stuff,
same
so that's
thing.
neat.
Yeah, but I just got things because I had really good grades. So
Like my kids were into Pokemon. If we got them a Digimon instead, we would hear about it.
no,
Digimon, I think is a superior show though. That I'm
I mean-
gonna go out on a limb. I know I'm gonna upset a lot of people, but I think it's a superior show.
I agree. I enjoyed watching Digimon more than Pokemon. But I also didn't watch a lot of either one. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean, I was watching it with the kids, but yeah, I
Yep.
preferred
Yep.
Digimon. That was the show, man. So, speaking of gifts, though, all month of November, we have been trying to give away a gift that someone might be able to use as for Christmas this year, which is the Stadia Premiere Edition. We've been trying to give that away all month. People have been entering the contest. They've been liking us on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and TikTok and whatnot.
they
and
won't
you
take
can-
my entries. I don't
and
understand.
it's been racking up some of those. We didn't hit 4K, which is what I was hoping to. Maybe if you add them all together, we might be at 1,000. But it was still fun to get the word out there. People were sharing it, and we had a bunch of entries, tons of entries. So
Good.
very grateful for everyone who entered. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for being a part of that. We're going to do it again. I actually have another one to give away. I don't know what we're going to do with that. I might have a third one here shortly to give away as well. And then we may be giving some more stuff away in the new year. So you want to
I feel like Google should be a sponsor.
right? That would be great, wouldn't it?
yeah,
That'd be great.
the dollar sign.
So all you got to do to win really is just kind of follow us on all these things so that we can know that you're out there, and then you'll be notified when we do these kind of fun things. But anyway, we did the drawing to find out who won, and this is still on the screen, but where you found out who won the 4K
Google did. Oh no, wait,
Google Stadia Premiere Edition, which I have in my hot little hands right now.
Look at that, still in the shrink wrap.
So it is.
So
it is very much,
shiny.
you can see my ring light.
You can see the ring
in it.
light.
But yeah, it is a really fun little device. It's really
It's a
cool
nice
to play
device.
games online. I enjoy it quite a bit. So let's get right to it. I want to make sure that we announce the winner. And it is Rachel from Silvis, Illinois. Congratulations.
Hey, congratulations, Rachel.
You
Yay.
are going to this is going out in shipped to you tomorrow. So hopefully you will have it before
you'll get it
Christmas
next year?
if that's what you want. Yeah, well, with what's going on, who
Who
knows?
knows?
But yeah, all the way out in Illinois. Yeah, and
Great.
I checked on Facebook. I have no mutual friends with that person, so that is a perfect stranger you know what I mean? That heard about us. So how cool is that? I mean,
I'm going to do
I
the
was expecting.
Bukosian Dance of Joy now.
There you go. I just expect. Thank you, perfect stranger.
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought, I thought for sure it would end up,
Being an
somebody,
acquaintance of some sort,
some
a mutual
connection
friend.
to
Yeah.
us out there because it wouldn't get around enough, but it did. It got out all the way to Illinois at least,
No
and
Kevin Bacon
we had
for
an
us.
entry. So that was fantastic. Thank you, Rachel, for entering. I already emailed her. She got back to me like right away.
Excellent.
So
A
that's how
totally
I knew,
different time zone. How about that?
right? That's how I knew her name, because it was just her email. You know what I mean? They don't put your names in there. But she told me her name was Rachel, and she's getting that. So
Oh, that would have been
awesome.
mean, right? Hi,
What's
my name's
that?
Utah. What's your email? markjoseph@gmail.com.
Oh man. Well, I mean, yeah, but you don't have to put your name in there. You just put your email in,
right.
and then you
That's
like it
right.
and do all the things. So I just send an email to that person and say, you won. And I know that some people they're gonna get that
They're gonna think it's phishing. You're a
yeah,
scammer.
that subject line, you're a winner.
You're like, oh, thanks, Walmart.
Yep. But no, I said you're World Gone Geek, and that was hopefully, and it was
Have
from
you got-
my official World Gone Geek email address. So
Speaking of phishing, I've been getting a lot of, hey, this is the USPS, and your package is going to be sent back to sender if you don't click on this link and give us your credit card number and pay $1.
right.
And I'm like, wait, oh, clever, almost had
I've
me.
been getting a lot of weird stuff like that too. It's really, I mean, I think during the holidays it's even worse, right? Because people
right.
people have
People
a
are
ton of
sending a
packages
lot
out
of
there and
stuff, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
I've been getting them via text. Even have you gotten that?
Yeah, I've been getting texts too, like, hey,
Yes.
you need to pay this redelivery fee, or it's going to be, your package is going to be sent back to the sender. And I'm like, what package?
I also get like, oh, Amazon owes you money. Click this link.
That's a good one.
Well, no, they all darn right they do, but that's a totally different topic.
I'm trying to find. I think I probably
Yeah, they're getting
deleted
really,
it
they're
because
getting,
I try to
I have
delete
to-
those right away, but
I've got to give the scammers credit. They're getting pretty clever. You know, it used to just be, the Nigerian prince has money holding for you, or,
Really? That's what it is? The
But-
Nigerian prince.
right.
Darn you,
Because-
Nigerian prince.
yeah,
that-
that was
that
a
got-
common one. Do you remember that? That was
Oh my gosh. All the
No.
It's
time.
like he was going to come into an inheritance, and all he needed was American dollar. He wanted to convert
he
them
wanted-
to American dollars, and you could
Right.
keep some of it. And it was just like, or some craziness like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
That
like, people
became
fall for this.
that became a meme, obviously, because that
It
was
did.
not a meme, but well, I guess it's a meme.
Yeah.
But
I think
where people, whenever they
Or-
reference a spam or a scammer, like that Nigerian prince comes up every time.
or is it pronounced Mimi?
Is it?
No, I'm
I
kidding.
don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's just
Now
a
you're
meme.
now you've
because
made me question my whole
no,
existence.
because the whole I think meme is short for phenomenon, right? Isn't that what it is?
Wait,
it
meme?
comes. Meme is like derived from phenomenon.
That's a good question. So
I did not
Richard
know that.
Dawkins was the one who coined that, right?
Oh, he did. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So, but that's all I know about the history of the word meme.
Right.
And that could even be wrong. Maybe that's a meme. Maybe it's a meme
A
that
meme
got around
of a
that
meme.
Richard Dawkins created meme.
The original meme.
And he didn't create the meme. He coined the term that
coined
then
the term.
became this
Yep.
phenomenon.
Became this thing.
I did not know.
But
I mean,
that's
meme
what I always
doesn't
thought.
fit in the word phenomenon, though. Does it?
Isn't there like a meme? Isn't there some kind of
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon?
Anemone. Anemone.
Phenomena.
Oh my gosh, that was my favorite word as a kid. Anemone.
Phenomena.
Anemone.
Oh, anemone.
Yeah, and
Sea anemone. Anemone.
a sea anemone.
A sea enema? What kind of enema is that?
Did you have
you
those
use
words that you
do you use
pronounced
salt water?
correctly every time when you were
Yes.
a kid? And then what's the how old were you when you realized that a word that you've been pronouncing wrong your entire
Oh,
life?
like Pacific?
What did you used to say?
Wait, the ocean, or do you mean something in particular?
Specific. And I said
Specific.
Pacific.
You said Pacific? Like Pacific
great.
Ocean?
Yes.
Pacifically speaking?
Yeah, specifically speaking.
It
It
was
was
let me
like
think.
my youngest sister, the one that lives with me. She instead of saying, "Oh, she's gonna be so mad at me," my mom would try to get her to say "you," Y-O-U, and she would say "Y-O-me."
That's fantastic.
And coin, she would say instead of C-O-I-N, C-O-Y-N. And I love it. C-O-Y-N.
C-O-Y-N.
Yeah,
Why you
C-O-Y-N.
Y-N?
Yeah, but the Y-O-me, love that.
I think. I mean, I remember my kids did this too. You know, I remember as a kid saying spaghetti. I always had to. For some reason, I added the S to spaghetti, and I don't know why.
I've
Library was another one. I said
Oh,
library
people
for
still
a
can't say
while,
library.
and so there's that. What else? I don't know. Biopic. Which way?
Okay, if that's the case, then we could go into the bagel, tomato.
Oh my gosh.
Bagel? Who calls it a bagel?
I actually know somebody who does.
Bagel.
A
It's bag.
bagel? Really?
Yeah,
Like a
I
bagel
only
with
say bagel when I'm messing with
a
Kiara.
bagel with creme chaz?
Oh my gosh. So I could go into all the things that my kids, I guess if I don't identify which kid it was, they won't be too mad at me. But yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, you've
So
got the odds
when-
are against us. So
right. Well,
Nathan.
in my
I'm
house,
joking.
I have 6, so it could have
right,
been
I was
any
going
of
to
them.
say right.
Yeah. So good luck guessing which one it was.
I only know the 3: Hannah, Libby, and Nathan.
Yeah. Well, and you just named them. Don't do that.
Oh, great! Now that
Oh,
you've narrowed
sorry.
it down,
But
You've
he has
narrowed it
3.
down. It
He
might
has
be one of
3
those
other
strings.
ones. He has 6 children.
No, the so
don't
Buru
forget Curly and
plus
Mo.
1. What word do you think Buru meant?
Buru.
The
I think that means library.
No.
kangaroo.
Bureau.
Oh, bureau.
Oh.
Bureau. Nice.
So yeah, that was
English is a bad
Federal
language.
Bureau of Investigation, the Bureau of Investigation. That was a popular one.
Bureau of motor vehicles.
For some reason, one of my kids always said ammo instead of ammo when we were talking. All of these, by the way, came from video games. So they were like
course.
playing
Yeah,
video
I'm sorry.
games, and the video game would, have text. It was great. I mean, people don't realize like some video games are really good at helping kids learn to read and
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely. Yeah.
But at the same
absolutely.
time, if there's a word they've never seen before, they're just gonna
try
whatever
and
it looks like. That's what's
sound
gonna.
it out. Amo.
So
huh?
that became ammo.
I'm out of ammo.
I don't remember
reloading.
what some of the other ones were.
Is there an
Is
ammo
anyone
drop?
over there on the other side of the thing that can tell me?
An anonymous
all
person on the other side.
They all left. Yes, don't say no. Yeah, there were some good ones. Kids are funny. I love them.
Yeah, I couldn't say yellow, so I just say Lello.
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 Well, until when? Like
It's
2
like
years ago? Or
today?
Yeah.
Still?
No, I was like up
You
until
were
like,
little.
yeah, I was little.
Oh, okay.
All
My
right.
my the one that lives with me. I'm just telling all of her stuff. She's gonna be so mad at me if she ever watches this.
There was. I'll admit, I was an adult who living in Florida when I realized that I was saying fanatic wrong
What?
because I lived in Orlando and the Orlando Magic had this team store called the Fan Attic. I'm like, oh, that's
Oh.
weird. But I was saying it wrong. I wasn't saying fanatic. I was saying fanatic. So I was like an adult
All right.
by the time I
Fanatic.
figured that one out. So that,
That's good.
yeah,
That's
that's
a
a
good
good
one.
one. I like that one.
Oh, Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Inky Pinky Pops. No,
Yeah. All right.
I'll drink
So
that.
I have some bad news. Or at least so far I have some bad news.
Technical difficulties.
It is now 20 minutes into our show and our guest is not here.
Oh,
So
no.
I don't know if there's been something. And what's so funny is this happened last time. He was gonna
That's
be on the
right.
show.
There's a mystery of
Only-
there's a mystery of
Only the last time it was it was Microsoft.
it was Outlook's fault.
Not Outlook. Windows Mail.
Oh, Windows Mail.
But it was still dumb. Like it was like I had
Right.
sent tons of emails to tons of guests, and they were literally still in a sent folder weeks later, and I had no idea.
Right. They were never sent.
And what's really strange, other emails were going, because I used Windows Mail for multiple emails. So I don't know if it was multiple email accounts. So I don't know if it was the server for World Gone Geek that was screwing up.
Right, that particular server.
Maybe it was Windows Mail.
That
I don't
specific
know.
server.
But I'm like, why aren't these? I'm so surprised some of these people haven't got back to me. And then I like dug a little. Windows Mail is not super user intuitive as to where your, folder, where that stuff goes.
Correct.
And finally, I found the sent folder, and there was a ton of emails in there. And I mean, like at least a dozen, and 2 of them were to him. There was another one.
Wasn't there one with Rocky too?
Yeah, Rocky's didn't go out, right? Rocky ended up still making it on the show. Thankfully, we found this before Rocky's episode. But yeah, so I felt really bad, and I thought, oh my gosh, this guy's never going to come on the show again. But I emailed him and I said, dude, I'm really sorry. This is an error. Unfortunately, you and several other guests got hosed by this email that I didn't send because it got stuck. And I apologize. And he was super fine about it. He's like, yeah, it's just no problem. Give me some more dates. So I sent him our calendar, and he picked this date and is supposed to be here. And so,
well, we'll keep on going, and hopefully he shows up. I mean, because that's what we do.
That is what we do. So last time we ended up talking about what if, and because I made the joke, what if your guest doesn't show? This is what we do. We talk about. Well, what if has been over now for many a couple months, so that's not something we can talk about. But I suppose we could do a potpourri episode. We haven't done one in a long time. I don't think we've done one this whole season, except for the what if episode, where we just kind of talk about what's going on in pop culture news. So we're going to do that tonight until he shows. And if he does, great. If he doesn't, I'll see if I can get him back on again. Yeah. I mean, stuff happens. These guys are busy.
We'll keep a hawk eye out for him.
Yeah. Hawkeye. I was going to bring that up too. But yeah, I'll reach out to him again. Hopefully we can make this happen. He's really cool and likes to, has done a bunch of these. But we just can't seem to connect for some reason on the time. So who knows what could have happened? Like I said, these guys are super busy, and I'm just grateful that he was willing. So hopefully we can reschedule.
We've got his contact info.
That's right. So I'm going to we'll reschedule. If it happens, it'll probably won't be till February, because we are booked, guys. We are booked all the way through February. I'm so excied about that.
2022?
Yeah, we have a guest every week except for Christmas week. We're taking that off. And then we have all of January filled now, except for New Year's Eve, I think is a Sunday, right?
Is New Year's Eve a Sunday?
Don't.
Yeah, January 2nd is January 2nd is
January 2nd. So I think we might be doing one that way. I don't remember, but I have to look at the calendar again. I think I might have us off both those weeks, just so we can have a little break into the new year. But we've got a lot of fun guests coming up. We got
we're not doing a New Year's. We're not going to ring in the New Year's. We're going to get New Year.
No, I couldn't. I got to do that with my family, but we could have an episode around 7. And we could. Oh, wait, New Year's is not a Sunday, though. I see what you're saying. Yeah, right. I don't know. We could figure it out.
Nah, I'm just...
Next week, though, we've got Mark Cooper. He is a hip-hop artist and a nerdcore enthusiast. Not just hip-hop, but he's just a very musically talented guy. And if you've never listened to his music, check it out on Spotify. Do some homework. Listen to his music before he comes next week, because, dude, he is really good, like really good. So I can't wait to have him on the show. The week after the week after that, we've got Afro Duck Studios. Those are the guys making a
game.
That is one of the first kind of African-centered RPG type of adventures. So that's exciting.
Loving all this. Do this for the culture. Yeah.
Right?
Loving it.
Very cool. So it's very exciting. We're hoping. So we're going to fill out the rest of this month with those guests. It's going to be very exciting. But now, since earlier I had some bad news, guess what I have now?
Good news?
I have some very good news. Guess who's in the green room right now? getting
Leah's
ready to
water
come on
bottle?
our show. So I'm going to go ahead and do my intro. So today's guest is part of a hip hop duo that exploded onto the scene in 1993 with one of the defining songs of the decade. You heard it in 1993. It's been living rent free in your head ever since. I promise that. It doesn't take too much to bring it back, roaring into memory, especially since it's found its way into films, television, and most recently, even commercials. It's been a pop culture mainstay for over 3 decades. Guys, this is some of these statistics. It went platinum again and again, multi-platinum, over 7 million copies sold to date. Number 1 on the Hot R&B, number 2 on the Hot 100, 16 weeks at number 1 on Billboard. I think it's safe to say that they had a hit single on their hands, which also then became a platinum selling album. And now, thanks to Geico, it's making another resurgence into pop culture. And one of my favorite commercials of late, the Scoop, there it is, Geico commercial. Which I gotta admit, guys, we've talked about this commercial on the show before. It's one of the most pure and unadulterated, good feeling commercials I've seen in a long time. Seriously, it's like the Ted Lasso of commercials. Every time it's on, you have to smile. Like, it's so fun. It just
Very
makes
wholesome.
you feel good. So, guys, it's my pleasure and absolute honor to welcome platinum recording artist, actor, and voice actor, DC the Brain Supreme, Glenn. Welcome to the show.
Woo!
There he is. How are you, sir? Oh, I can't hear your mic.
Uh-oh. Are you muted?
No.
I don't, not yet. We can see you.
Nope, still can't hear you.
This is okay. This is what we're used to. We have technical difficulties all the time.
Yeah, it wouldn't be World Gone Geek.
Right. That's our show.
Well,
How about now? No, I still don't hear you.
No. None of us hear him?
no.
I'm not getting it.
No.
I've turned them all the way up on this end too.
I don't know what's going on.
He is.
We're
screaming.
gonna do charades.
Maybe we
Okay.
only I could read lips.
Noses, yes, I can. That's what I'm
Which
trying.
is fine. Which is fine for the live show, but
Oh,
since
I could be
most
doing
of our
this then.
audience is podcast listeners, they don't get to see it. Say that again. You got to reconnect. There
Yeah.
it is. He's going to reconnect. All right.
Yeah, we'll get
So our
that a shot.
podcast listeners at home right now are going, yeah, right.
Oh.
Our guest is DC Glenn.
It wouldn't be a World Gone Geek show if there weren't technical difficulties. That's right.
What do you think about that, Aaliyah?
Obviously, he could hear us because, you know what I mean? I could see him kind of responding. Yeah.
The live version's even better.
What's up with that?
Yeah. So, yeah, for those of you listening at home, we're doing
That.
sort of, sign language with DC Glenn here as he's trying to figure out his mic situation. He'll be back, hopefully.
Hey, you know what? I have full faith in the Brain Supreme figuring it out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No. I do
All
know
right.
some sign language.
Here we go. Let's see if he's back. Well,
This
hopefully.
week, let me see.
There
Yeah!
we go. There's a
There he is.
welcome to the show, sir.
Woo, Sunday nights, right?
That's right.
Right.
Oh my
All right.
gosh! If you only knew the history of technical difficulties that we have trying to make this show happen,
Hey, man.
this is just par for the. We're used to it. It's fine. You're
Because I do so many
Oh, sure.
interviews and podcasts and whatnot that there are so many different platforms that you got to switch and make sure this
Yep.
is on, that's off. And the best way to do it is, when in doubt, just restart. And then
there you
just
go.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And it worked.
sometimes it just
And
We're,
it
we're
works.
fresh. We're fresh. How you guys doing this evening?
Oh my gosh, we're so good, and we're so much better now that you're here. We're grateful that you came to spend some time with us. We can't wait to talk to you.
Check it out before we get started. I gotta get
Yeah.
something off my chest. One
Okay.
minute. Sprinkle.
There it is.
Hey! There it is.
Dude, I am not joking. Like, that commercial, when I saw that commercial for the first time, like, just how happy that couple is and how, you know what I mean? Just now
Yeah.
the daughter's not too pleased, but just the sheer joy of just dancing, you guys showing up and making ice cream, like that commercial is I've been saying that since
Sheer
that commercial
genius.
came out. And when I saw that you were, someone who was kind of making the podcast circuit, I was like, I got to get him on the show.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. I've had a ball. I mean, it's funny because people think this is Phoenix from the ashes type story, and it's really not. we've been
No,
we've
You've
been
been
grinding
around.
for
You're still
years,
here.
man. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been doing shows. I mean, but this is a great bookend. You know what I'm saying? This is or a great I say IV shot, IV drip. You know what I'm
There you
saying?
go.
It's like we're just so full of energy and the sheer variety of things we get to do. I just got back from Thanksgiving Day parades. This is the
Wow.
first thing I've been able to just breathe in like months. So
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. Well,
enjoying
thank you
myself.
so much for taking the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
we appreciate it.
definitely.
So since we've got you here, we'd love to kind of hear about your journey as a how your musical journey started, like where you grew up and how you got into doing music in the first place.
Well, from Denver, Colorado, and I met Steve in high school, 11th grade. He had a band. They used to play in the quad. I wanted to be in his band, and then I used to work in the truancy office where it was the choir was down the hall. I wanted to be in the school choir. And then I went to my first high school dance and I saw 2 turntables and a microphone used by him.
Mhm.
And I was like, I have got to have that. And shortly thereafter, I had all 3 and I graduated high school, went to Sac State University in California and started honing my talents as a DJ, a rapper, singer, and, production and everything that had to do with everything that I wanted in life, which was just music.
Wow.
And I got very good at it. I did all the frat parties. I started working all the clubs in Chicago and not Chicago, but Sacramento in class instead of studying. I was writing lyrics. I was putting out mixtapes. I was just all in, right? And went to visit Steve in Atlanta because he was going to the Art Institute in Atlanta. And I fell in love with Atlanta, Georgia, and I knew that I was going to move to Atlanta. So packed up all my stuff, moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And I'd had a job with CNN, but they took me to this club called Magic City. It was an adult entertainment club, and the DJ was drunk that night. I remember I was like, this is horrible. I could DJ here. And I went to the owner, and I was like, you need a DJ? He's like, come see me Monday. So I went and seen him Monday. He's like, I don't need a DJ, but I need a cook. Can you cook? I was like, yeah. So I went upstairs. You could be the cook, and you could be our chef, and then you could be the backup DJ because I need 2 cooks. So I went upstairs. I think I cooked, ordered chicken wings and 2 salads. And the daytime DJ was like, "Hey man, can you work for me? I got some errands to run." And he let me on his turntables. And those girls made more money in that day. And down
I know that's right.
just from DJing, right? And we had a meeting that Sunday because first of every Sunday they would have a meeting with all the staff. And the girls got up and said, before we get started, we want him. And I've been a head DJ at every club that I've been at for the last 30 years.
Wow.
So
Wow.
twist of fate. And the beauty of DJing at the club, especially strip club, is that you get to play your own music. And I'm playing my own music and I'm popular and everybody knows me. I got this is when Atlanta was just starting. This is when Deion Sanders was signed. This is when the Braves were starting to win their first, going to the playoffs a lot. This is when Bobby Brown got there, L.A. Reid, Babyface, all these people, we all got there together. And I'm in the hottest club in the city, so I know everybody. And I'm playing my records, but we were hip hop and we were down south in the land of bass. And there was no way we were going to get out of down south without making up-tempo bass music. So I went to Steve, like, look, man, we got to make some up-tempo stuff. And he was like, I love this bass, but I just can't. It's hard for me to make that stuff. And I was like, let's just take it back to the essence, which is, to me, the essence of hip-hop is Planet Rock, Egyptian Lover, those electronic records early in the day, Kraftwerk, right? Our first attempt at making an up-tempo record was Whoomp, There It Is.
Your first attempt.
The first attempt, and these people think it was this big Manhattan project. They thought we had lab coats on, working on theorems and geometry, and it had to be this and it had to be that, and it was just a song about guys chasing women on a Friday night and drinking and having a good time. the same pieces of every country song, rock and roll song,
Yeah.
There
blues
you go.
hip hop song, every genre of song across the board. And I'll never forget that I played it for the first time after we got out of the studio. It was August of '92. And to this day, I played it off cassette. To this day is the biggest response on any record I've ever played in my DJ career, and I've been DJing for 30 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Right?
What a way to start.
Yeah.
That's
And,
impressive.
you know, I had other records, but my hubris as a young guy, I was like, well, every record I make is going to be like this. So I could have felt there it is, right? And our other records were okay because everybody loved me, so they like my records anyway. But I hadn't played Whoomp in about 3 or 4 months. I played it again, and the same thing happened, and that's when I knew. And that day, one of the record reps, right? Every region back then it was New York and LA. That was it when it came to working records.
Right.
So one of the record reps for Columbia Records, not Rodney Terry, but what was his name? Alan Cole. He was like, "What is that, man?" I was like, "That's my new record, dog." And he was like, "Man, give me that. I'm taking that to New York. I'm going up to New York next week. I want to let them hear this." Take it up to New York. 2 days later, I'm talking to Columbia Records. Then I'm talking to Epic Records. Then I'm talking to A&M Records. Then I'm talking to all the record labels. And everybody's like, we love it, but we don't know what to do with it. And everybody's playing with it, right? And I almost gave up. And a young lady named Lisa McCall, who worked for Mercury Records, like, you need to talk to Al Bell. He put out Daisy Dukes the year before, and that's a bass record, and it went gold. And for those who don't know, in the beginning of soul music, there were 3 record companies: Motown, Philly International, and Stax Records. Al Bell had Stax Records, right? So, I found this out later, but he knew how to work records, no matter what the record. And I gave him a call. Took about 2 weeks to call me back. I actually forgot. And I was like, look, dude, I got a hit record. Everybody playing with my emotions. You really need to sign us. You do not need to miss out on this opportunity. And I said, I'm in the hottest club in the country. You got to sign us. He was like, okay. I was like, no. Don't play with me. And I was like, you haven't even heard the record. And he was like, and to this day, I'll never forget these words. He said, brother, I don't have to hear the record. I hear it in your spirit.
Wow.
Free. Let's get this thing moving. I gave my 2 weeks in Magic City, signed a messed up record deal, and a month and a half, we were platinum. And the rest is history.
That's crazy.
Is amazing.
So quick.
It was instant.
So, that's nuts. I mean, it's got to be.
Everybody's success story is different. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why I don't, I tell people, I was like, it's just about your hustle. If you want something, hustle will be there. Like I got saying, who did I take it from? I took it from Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, but I just use hustle. Hustle finds a way.
There you go.
Nice.
You're not wrong.
I see it. You know what I mean? It's as long as you hustle, play offense, keep moving forward, look at the glass half full instead of half empty, things gravitate to you that you can turn into other things that keep growing. And you plant those seeds. And I planted so many seeds throughout my career. I stand before you in a forest of opportunity unimaginable, right? Because I put in the work. You know what I'm saying? And
indeed,
I could have folded. I could have turned old and bitter because I had a messed up record contract, but I took that opportunity to basically turn it into a paralegal. It's like, hey, let me learn how this works, right? Let me learn what motion is. Let me learn what discovery is. Let me learn what this legal jargon is. Let me see what they're doing, fighting each other. There was 2 record companies fighting over us, the rights to whom it is. And that lasted for 17 years. And when it came my day for court, I had a big box of discovery, gave it to my lawyer, and we prevailed because I put in that work over all those years. Like, I'm different. Right, I really am different, and I just don't quit ever.
That's good advice.
I'll be singing "Whoomp" there it is till they're gonna put a wheelchair. I'll be blind the whole hour.
That's good stuff.
No so, who were some of your musical influences?
For me, it was more so. Okay, so for me, there was so many because being a
that
DJ
time.
in Sacramento, I would order all my records from different regions of the country. I would order from New York. I would order from DC. I would order from LA. I would order from San Francisco. So I got Peter Piper when it first came out. I got all those New York records that were on white labels, MC Shan, all those old school artists, right?
Mm.
I got all the brand new NWA and Eazy-E stuff down in LA. I got all the freestyle music from, San Francisco, the Bay Area, and Miami, right? I got every piece of music from all around. And what it did is it influenced me to be a better DJ, right? And because if I'm a better DJ, I understand music more and understand more how to make it. And for me, but the most influential records were the up-tempo electronica records. Al Nafish, Planet Rock, Kraftwerk, those records, Egyptian Lover, Egypt. Even Dr. Dre's first record in California was a huge hit. People laugh at it now because he was in a sequins, shirt with a stethoscope. But
That's right.
My friend said, "Shout out to the crate diggers."
Hey, the crate diggers. Hey, I still got my crates in storage, gathering dust, because I know that if something happens where it almost happened this time, when planet Earth is about to be at the end, I'm gonna have my records and I'm gonna be DJing. Period.
There you go.
Yes.
I can't get rid of them. I tried, and I just can't.
You still have all of them? Every single one?
Single record that I used to DJ with.
Oh,
Wow.
I got everything.
that's
And
amazing.
I'm proud of that, right? Because like if I played them now, they just sound horrible because they were worn, they got scratches, right? Back then it was good because that's where we were in sound. Like my father,
Right.
he was like, I got this old video cassette. I want you to make it look better. I was like, all right. And it was on VHS. And I put it in. Our TV's like, how come it don't look no better? I was like, because that was the acceptable best it looked in 1980, right? Now, nothing looks good that was back then now, right? Think about it. Everything you see on television from back in the day has to be refurbished or whatever. It looks like crap. So that's how all my records are. They're all scratched up. I was trying to clean them and I was like, there's no hope for this vinyl. I'm glad I have them because they're good memories, right? So, first and foremost, I will always be a DJ. Always.
So
Incredible.
I'm very curious, like around that time, obviously, there were a lot of Black representation, but as a child, that's looking to you, what does that representation mean to you? And if you have any advice for young artists, I know you said hustle, but I know the game has changed also. So
No, it hasn't. The game is however you can get it. Right? Okay, so think about it. However you can get it. I don't care what it is. But see, there's rules like I said, I'm different, right? So there's rules to this, right? One, there is no quid pro quo. So I can't go do something and therefore this is supposed to happen. Because when you do something and you expect for something to happen, that's a quid pro quo, and then that's what makes you quit, right? You cannot have your emotions tied to what you're doing. Then you have to educate yourself, right? And I'm not talking about just educate yourself. I've coined a phrase called learn how to learn. It is not enough to just learn. You got to learn how to learn, right? Example, I get a long email. After the first two sentences, I'm daydreaming. And I get to the end, I'm like, damn, I didn't even read none of this damn email, right? So every time I get something that's like that or something I have to read, I dump it in the AI. Now the AI reads it back to me. I'm reading along with it. Now I'm retaining all the information. Therefore, I have learned how to learn to retain information quicker, faster, better, right? I often tell young cats, I was like, if you want to learn about something, join an organization, right? Because organizations are filled with people who've been doing what they love 20, 30, 40 years. And, here's a beautiful story right here. During the pandemic, the Geico commercials just popped. I'm like, man, what can I do? Because I can't go do shows. So I'm like, what can I do? And let me get a publicist for my acting and my voiceover. So all the publicists were home. They were like, we don't know what to do with it. We couldn't, we can't figure this out. And I was like, what? I was like, okay, let me go join an organization so I can be my own damn publicist. And I joined the Public Relations Society of America. 2 days in, this is Super Bowl week. I'm on a podcast with this CEO of this PR firm. And I raised my hand. I'm like, our press release is still relevant because I had a press release in the hole that I wanted to drop, but something told me not to drop it. And they were like, well, what's it for? I'm like, well, I'm kind of featured in a national Geico commercial called Scoop. There it is. And I just looked at the chat and it's like, no, that's not him. That couldn't be. Wait a minute, man. That's a great commercial. Dude, my mom loves that commercial. My dog loves that commercial. My cat loves that. Blew the entire Zoom call up, right? And the moderator's like, all right, back to DC's question to the CEO, our press release is relevant. And this CEO, beautiful lady, was like, yes, because the whole last year has been COVID. Every story has been about COVID. The whole last year, every story has been political. And here you guys come spinning scoops, throwing sprinkles, and DC, you'll smile. Of course, that press release is going to work. You're going to go here for all the publicists. You're going to go here for all the TV talk shows. You're going to go here for all the journalists. You're going to go here all the podcasts. You're going to make sure your pitches like this. She gave me the entire breadth of her experience as a publicist in 10 minutes. And it has changed my life forever. Wow. And it is the reason that I'm talking to you good folks right now. Right?
That's fantastic.
So you have to figure out what you need to do. Right? In early... my life revolves around traumatic instances to where I didn't look at the glass half empty. I looked at it as half full, or I used that traumatic incident to say that'll never happen to me again. Mm-hmm. And when we had discrepancies with the money back in the 90s, I was like, that'll never happen to me again. And I became a licensed commodities broker and I learned about finance, right? And I tell you, I got good at it and I'm DJing at night and I'm doing finance. And then I started saying, hey, I'm going to start running my life like a corporation. Well, how do you run your life like a corporation? I didn't know. I just did it. Right. What kind of corporation you going to be? Well, what do you got to do? We'll help to get your credit fixed. Okay. Fix my credit. Okay. Well, how can you, I just started the whole self-help journey about finding the knowledge I needed. So these traumatic things in my life will never happen again. Because the only person that can, the only person that can have control over what happens to me is me. Everybody got a choice, right? So back to your question, because, I get to talking.
I feel like you could be a motivational speaker.
And I am. That's the funny thing about I am. I was going to say. Back to your question, what I tell the kids, I said, people come to me all the time. Or people like, hey, my niece trying to do this and everybody come to me and I'll be like, okay, I have this folder or this book. Read that book. If you can't read or don't like to read, I got a video in there. Look at that video. Call me back and we'll talk. And I tell you, 98% of the people don't even call me back because so different, right? It's like, wait a minute, am I supposed to go to the club? Am I supposed to be in these streets and be rapping to everybody? Am I supposed to do this and that and that? I'm like, read that book and come back and talk to me because I got to know if you're serious or not. If you can't read a little book and come back and talk to me about it, even if you don't understand, with a platinum artist. So every now and then one person does it. It's a guy named Cordell. He's an Army veteran. He had post-traumatic stress disorder. He raps to get his demons out. And it is brilliant. Because you talk about gangster rap, you talk about foxhole stories. In the form of rap, I said, do you know how much you can help your fellow comrade? Do you know how much you can help your fellow servicemen? So he was like, well, what I got to do? I got to go to the club. I was like, no, read this book. It took him about a month. And he was like, hey, man, I read the book. I kind of get it, but I still don't understand what. I was like, let me explain it to you. I explained it to him. He was like, I get it, but I was like, you don't understand that I have full confidence now that you will never get taken advantage of in the music industry because I give you the back end first, right? The front end is the money, the girls, the cars, the fame, all that stuff. But the question is, what do you have after all that fades? Because it will fade. And I gave him the back end. And the back end is your music publishing. The back end is the rights to your song. The back end is owning your thing, because even if you have a mediocre record, you can eat off of it for the rest of your life. It turns into a pension plan, right? But nobody wants to hear that, right? Everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants a million, YouTube views or a million likes. And I'm like, you don't need a million people to like you. You just need 2,000 to pay you.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth.
Great.
No, that's
a million people like you, or 2,000 people paying you.
Yeah.
right. Everybody's going to pick the 2,000 people paying you, right? I mean,
unless you're just ignorant and want the fame, think that fame equals dollars, because fame doesn't equal dollars. Fame equals a bunch of people looking at you, right? So these are the things that I think about in my life, and through my self-help journey throughout the 2000s. I ended up running my life like a corporation. I ended up, I was always a DJ because I had to go back to DJing, but it was easy money. So, I knew finance, so I could take the money and make it work for me. But then I was at the club, and there was this one self-help book. This guy wanted to own a pie shop, and he went and worked at a pie shop. And he was a bus boy, and he did the inventory, and he became the pie cook and everything. And then he quit. Then he opened up his own pie shop. Then he franchised the pie shop. Then he sold it for $20 million. All that process getting in the corridor, right? See, and this is what I tell people who don't like their jobs. Like, I can't stand my job this, my job that. I said, you missing the beauty of it all. I said, learn how to do every job that's in that job. Learn how to do her job. Learn how to do your manager's job. Learn how to do the boss's job. Learn how to do every job, not because of the company or because you're trying to kiss butt or none of that. You're doing it for you, because when you do that, you make yourself invaluable. I'm not your DJ. I'm your light guy. I'm your sound guy. I do your voiceover for your radio spots. I do your television commercials. I do your fashion photography for the girls. I come up with your marketing strategies. I do all of these things. I will vacuum the club if I have to. I keep the DJ booth clean, right? And what I'm doing is making myself invaluable. And when you make yourself invaluable, say the boss comes to you, like, hey, such and such is ain't here, and I need somebody to do this. I got it. And even if they don't keep you or the company folds, what has just happened is that you don't put so many tools in your toolbox that your transition to the next bigger thing is easier. And people don't see that. Everybody want to complain. Everybody want
the easy way.
Yeah,
right,
and
they all see the end result.
This is what kills me. These young kids, they into instant gratification. I said, you old people's into instant gratification too. It ain't just on them.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Man, you can't do that, right? Because there is no instant gratification, right? Because you can't do it for that. You have to. This is, for me. I said I'm a hustler, and I am, and I love it. I've always got hustles in the hole, because when you work in the clubs and hustle in the clubs, somebody's always trying to steal your hustle or copy you, right? So if I do something and everybody copies and they're like, haha, I got your hustle, I'm like, good job. Because here's my next hustle. Catch me if you can.
It's that shark mentality.
Yeah, I got 10 incubators with tons of hustles being prepared. And then people like, man, DC, you can't, you a jack of all trades, master of none. I'm like, and it used to bother me back in the day until I realized that you live long enough, hustle hard enough, learn how to learn and play offense. You become masterful at those trades, and they all turn into one big ball to serve you in ways you can never imagine. Right? Because you start gaining mastery at those things. So now instead of a toolbox, you got a tool shed. Instead of a tool shed, you now got an Ace Hardware. Home Depot's kind of far-fetched, but I'll take I'll take the old school Ace Hardware, because anything that happens to you in life, you got a tool to fix it. You got a tool to adapt to it. You got a tool to overcome it, right? Then there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing no one can tell you. There's nothing anyone can say to you about what you do. Right? I put out a post yesterday just to see DC the Brain Supreme NFTs coming soon.
Oh, I saw that on your Instagram.
Do you know how many people been calling me? Because I am into crypto, but I'm not like everybody get into crypto. I'm like, let me study crypto for 6 months and figure this thing out inside out and then crush it. Right? Because I've got coaches now. I got people who know this inside out, and I just pay them. And it's not a lot. You're like, well, you got the money to pay them. It's not a lot. $100 a month. All you got to do is ask people nicely, and you'll be surprised what you get back. Hey, sir, I don't understand SEO. Can you please help me? I need your help. I got you. Because 2011, everybody thought Barack Obama was in our video because of one little frame that looked like was LA Snow from Deuce. It looked like Barack Obama. Gawker made an article about it. Now I'm getting calls from New York Times. Now I'm on ABC, NBC, CNN the whole week. Blew up. But I was pissed because at the end of the week I had lint in my pocket. I had nothing to show for it. And I had to do an autopsy. And I was like, why is that? Because I didn't have a web presence. And I said, that'll never happen again. And back then, you type in tag team, it was all wrestling. You type in tag team, hey, it's all tag team because I learned SEO, search engine optimization.
I know that's right. Yeah.
Right. It took me 10 years. It's still it's an ongoing thing. It never stops, right? I know how to make websites. I know how to pick my keywords. I know how to do schema, JSON, LD. I know Wikidata. I write Wikipedia pages, right? Because Google gives you the recipes of how to feed the bot, because it's a robot. It's not. I hear people all the time. Yeah, man, the algorithm don't like me, man. That's why I can't get my videos played. I just be like, it's a robot. It ain't got no. It don't care about you.
You just got to feed the algorithm.
Yeah, Google's telling you these are the recipes to feed the robot. And my thinking is, because I'm different. Well, what you gonna be? A short order cook or a 5-star Michelin chef? I'm a 5-star Michelin chef when it comes to SEO, right? And I can do things and impose my will and get in front of people and work press releases and do things that other people can't imagine because they do it once and they say, well, that didn't work. I can't do it no more. It all works. You just have to figure out how it works for you, right? I drop press release after press release after press release, but I do it in a way to where you got your headline. You can only do it when you have a good headline, right? One of the headlines was, tag team continues to inspire as grand marshals of the Talladega 500 in NASCAR. Tag team with the grand marshals in NASCAR, blah, blah, blah. But now, once I get into it, what a press release is a Trojan horse for me. DC's active. DC's doing this. DC's doing that. DC's going to be here. He's going to do that. He wants this. Casting director, you need to holler. Dave Leone, he wants to be in The Mandalorian. Let's go. DC want to be in. Boom, 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 right? And I do it every, and I'm like, look, because I had a meeting with my agents and they said, well, DC, what do you want? This was like right before the Geico commercial dropped. And I was like, you guys do a great job because I'm humble, right? And it's like, no, DC, what do you want? What kind of roles you want? I was like, look, y'all do a great job. I get a lot of auditions. We good. They said, DC, what is your bucket list? I said, oh, that is a different question.
That is a different question.
First thing I said I want to be in The Mandalorian.
We got to make that happen.
Yeah, I said, I want to be Star Wars live action animation, right? Because I do voiceover. I can do any voice that you want me to do when it comes to animation. I can be commercial. I can do movie trailer. I can do anything this week on NBC. I can do anything I want to get this good at voiceover, to get mastery over my voice, right? So I throw out things like that, and you just never know how it's going to come back to you. But I don't expect, I did that with the Dan Patrick Show. Threw it out there, and so some people's like, why'd you think they're gonna call you? And I was like, I don't know, I don't care. I'm not even thinking about it. I just threw it out there, but stranger things have happened. Somebody might be listening, like, hey, do you know the guy in the Geico commercial that does the sprinkles? Yeah, my kids love that commercial. He wants to be in the Mandalorian. Call his agent. You never know how it happened, right?
That's true.
You never know.
That's true.
And I'm not married to it, and I'm not emotionally attached to it. I just throw, what do they call them? Trial balloons, right?
Yeah.
You throw it in the universe, right? And you don't know. It's basically planting a seed. You don't know how that seed is going to grow.
Yep.
You don't know if it's going to be a shrub, if it's going to be a tree, if it's going to be, weeds. You don't know how long it's going to take to grow. You don't know how it's going to come back to you and drop fruit on you, right? But what I do know is that 28 years ago, I planted a seed called Whoomp. There it is. And now it's a sequoia. Right? I see things totally different. So when I talk to young people, I have their attention because, and for a minute, I couldn't figure out. I asked my voiceover coach, why do people listen to me? It's like, because you're not telling people stuff from a book. You're telling people things that you do and that they see you do. Say every time you tell me something, DC, 2 months later it's done. And I'm just like, how did that happen? And it's just, and you got traditionalists out there who see me do all this stuff now. They're like, DC, you can't do everything. You're gonna have to get a assistant. You're gonna have to do this. DC, you can't do everything. And I just, okay, maybe I can't do everything, but I sure enough can be prepared for everything. Like, ooh, yeah, that's good. I'm just looking at them like, you just disapproved of something that I said, and now you approve of the same thing I said, just said a different way. Preparation is doing everything, right? All I do is prepare. I don't care about, if it happened, it happened. If it don't, it don't. But as long as I'm preparing, when I'm preparing more, might have unintended consequences. I call them collateral sprinkles.
Love it.
Can help you, right? You never know. And that happens to me. There's 5 things I want to talk to you about right now that I can't talk to you about because I'm on a non-disclosure agreement.
Oh.
Right? Like, I hustle. When I say I hustle, I hustle.
And one of those.
If I don't react like I did with the Obama and learn SEO. Because in the middle of the pandemic, I get a call from my agent. Hey, DC, you just booked a Geico commercial. I'm like, Lena, do not play with my emotions. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I haven't even auditioned for a Geico commercial.
Right. How did that happen? Like, it was just what
DC, they wanted tag team. And I was like, oh, check the tag team hotline. There it was. And they didn't wait for me to call them back. They went and found me. I made myself easy to find, right? And they went to my IMDb, got my agent's number, called my agent. The synergy was incredible. I let my agent make the deal because now I don't got to get lawyers on. I don't got to do nothing but let them rock it, tell them what the situation is. And to date in my life, it is the biggest, most lucrative deal I have ever made in my life.
Congratulations, sir.
That's amazing.
You see what I'm saying? Now,
good for you.
They would have found us. But I'm saying, if I don't do what I do, some of these things are not possible. Right? If I don't fill out all my profiles right, if I don't do all these things to where people can link all these things up to where we can have conversations to where I can get what I need, these things don't happen if I don't stay proactive and hustle and keep going. Today I'm building dcglenn.com, right? Tomorrow I can tell you because it's almost tomorrow. Tomorrow, Tag Team is going to be on the cover of Adweek magazine.
Nice.
The biggest advertising magazine in the world. My life is about to change. I was just on television last week. I was just on a television show 3 weeks. I got 4 TV shows coming next year. I got 2 movies coming next year. I audition constantly. I'm getting better. I do lots of voiceover. It's too much, but I'm having the time of my life because I do a little bit of everything I love to do.
That's
right?
Yeah.
I do a little bit of everything I love to do. Now, something to crypto. Now we're starting to suffer because I'm a crackhead for crypto. Not in, not in the sense of I'm doing it like because everybody sees crypto as just coins. They're playing it like slot machines. They have no idea why they're buying these entities, right?
Right.
And I said, and I did that at first for a little bit, but then I said, wait a minute, stop. What is the real reason this thing even exists? And it's like there are underlying technologies under each token. So this is almost like angel investing for technology,
Right?
Where the average person can get in on it if they do their homework and learn what it is. But most people don't. Most people's hoping and praying. The market's down today. The market's up today. They're chasing it. It's like, well, it's going up. Let's buy it. Well, it's going down. What are you? You're getting slaughtered, right? When I'm just sitting back, I'm learning it inside out. I'm watching where the smart money goes. Remember, I'm a licensed commodities broker. I used to trade Forex. It was too fast for me. I got slaughtered back in the day. And it took me this long to get back into finance like that, to where I said, okay, because I thought and you know what, how it happened? I did a podcast with a financial professor. He teaches finance in school. And he had heard that I was a licensed commodity. He's like, I got to hear that story. A rapper, a licensed broker. And we had such a good conversation that it changed me. And I called him a week later. And I was like, just to pick his brain. And then he ended up telling me, I control like $75 million worth of money. And this is my portfolio. And boom, boom, boom. And I was like, I got 40 customers. I keep it small. I was like, you want 41? And now he's my financial advisor. But at the same time, it got me back into crypto because I said to myself, what if I had not have stopped and just kept studying? Then I would have saw Bitcoin in 2010, bought 100 Bitcoin for $50 a piece and been straight for the rest of my life. Shoulda, right? And what I tell people all the time, and this is what the pandemic made me realize, there are no mistakes. There are no missed opportunities. As long as you're breathing, you can correct all of it. Right?
That's good.
Correct all of it.
Yeah.
1995, I'm in the bowels of Disney teaching Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse how to rap. And we had it's a husband and wife team. We're having a good time. DC, a tag team. Whoomp, there it is. They're telling me about animation. And that day my voiceover career started, but I didn't know it. Right. And I wasn't thinking about it. And as time went on, I would beat myself up severely. I still got bruises because I was there, right? I was there. 1996, I'm in the office of the president of New Line Cinema. And he's telling me about this movie. Hey, we might want to cast you for this movie. It's with LL Cool J and Wesley Snipes are fighting for the leads. It's called Blade. I was like, yeah, call my agent. Because I'm Whoomp, there it is. I'm not thinking about I'm a young dude. I'm not thinking right. I beat myself up for years because I was there. Right? But now I am a working voice actor and I am a working actor. And what that lets me know is that, and this my Aunt Judy told me, I'll never forget these words, and this is what I live by. She says, sometimes in life, we're just not ready. And that's okay, right? You just got to come back to it, though, right? And I've always come back to it. I've always tried to correct things. So when the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, it's time to get tutors. Let's get back into music production. I vowed that I would not leave this earth regretting something I wanted to do that I didn't do. And I'm trying to correct everything that I always wanted to do and be masterful at it. And that's all I can do. I don't want nothing else. I've done everything. But I want the things that I wanted back then that I couldn't necessarily get to. And now I'm doing it, right? I just do, my hand is in all kind of stuff. And then the people I'm meeting people with Disney. Just meeting people all the time. And I'm just planting all these seeds and they're coming back to harvest. And I just go with the flow. And it has worked for me well. You get nervous, but I think I'm in a real good place now. And, you know, if I don't become an actor because I'm in voiceover, the Geico commercial is not as good as it's going to be because I'm an actor. And when they told me we were going to do a Geico commercial, they said it's going to be soup. There it is. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm looking through so trying to find the soup, so trying to get ideas, right? Because I'm an actor and I prepared. And they come in like, no, we're gonna do scoop. There it is, ice cream. And I was like, yes, because my dad used to make us ice cream when we were kids with the cylinder with the vanilla, eggs, sugar, and milk, and just the churn with the ice, with the churning and the yes. Oh my God, we used to make our own ice cream. And then I worked at Dolly Madison Ice Cream. And then I'm like, I am going to have 10 things I want to do in this commercial. And that's where the spin and scoop come from. That's where the sprinkles come from.
I was going to ask about that.
They're all prepared because the night before we're doing our fitting, we had a meeting with the director and the producer. And I said, I got a couple things I want to try. Like, whatever you want to do, DC. I was like, cool. I was like, I tried to get a spin and scoop made, but I couldn't get one fabricated. Like, DC, it's okay. It'll be done for you tomorrow. I was like, what? I was like, okay, I know kids love sprinkles. I want to do the salt-based sprinkle. I want to do bronze. I want to do all these little sprinkle things. You got to have a ton of sprinkles. Like DC, we will have a truckload of sprinkles there for you. And I went on that list and we shot that commercial, and they could have made 5 Geico commercials by all the stuff we had. We gave them more than we needed. And because that happened, because I'm an actor and I prepared, right? Preparation.
Mm-hmm.
That's why those were the nuances that make that commercial great. Because even if you didn't have the storyline already down, because we did so many things, you could piece it together to make that feel-good story. And it is what the world needed at that time. Talk about
absolutely.
No, yeah, the response is incredible.
Yeah, talk about. I mean, I remember December 25th at midnight, popping up YouTube, and we're the main marquee on YouTube for the whole weekend.
Wow.
And it was on. My phone hasn't stopped ringing since. And then we did another Geico commercial because they gave us our own ice cream.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Right. And now I'm trying behind the scenes get the ice cream in the stores for the spring. See what I'm saying? Like, I don't sit back and be like, cool, I got a Geico. I'm like, if I get one thing, I'm trying to make 10 things out of it. Right. So I'm meeting with all the ice cream companies. If anything, I could be a spokesperson for ice cream. Right. I mean, tomorrow the ice cream man is coming. Like, everywhere I go, we just did the Philadelphia Thanksgiving parade and lined up on the streets. Everybody that when we come down, our flow came down the street. Everybody, only thing they said was sprinkles. And I said sprinkles 1,000 times and lost my voice saying sprinkles because that's all I had to say. Comic-Con Row, one of the satellite Comic-Cons, because of a podcast. We do it just like this. It was like, we want you, we're gonna pay for your table. I was like, I'm just going to observe. And people would come and they made me a banner and they were like, so you're Doctor, what movie were you in? And people that Bobby there laughing. It's like, you don't know who that is? And it's like, no, it's like, you never heard of Whoomp? There it is. Like, yeah, but, and I'll just go, sprinkles. Ding. You can see that light bulb come in their head and then they would melt. I'm taking pictures with everybody and everybody else is coming now. It's a spectacle. But then what happens is I start talking to people. And now I've got 20 people around me talking about business and life and all these things because of how I talk. And now I've got all those people are my friends, right? And they call me, I call them, and that's how I am. I give everything I got freely because my motto is you give what you want first. And that is why I have always truly been blessed.
Wow. Just talking about that in church today. Wow.
You got to give what you, think about it, right? And then once you give it, you can't expect nothing back. That's what makes it even better when you don't expect anything. It's like I gave this wino $20, but he said he was hungry, but he went and bought some crack. I can't be mad because I gave it to him. Whatever you want to do, it's out my hands. I did what I was supposed to do, right?
Right.
You know, you can choose what you do, but all I want to do is just take care of people. Take care, and really, my mission is to talk to people, anybody who's willing to listen, about the things that I wish someone had told me when I was a young man. It's my responsibility, right? You know, now I might not have listened, right? But I would appreciate it when people, because the old schoolers used to always talk to me, argue with me. We'd argue about DJ and everything. And they thought I was just being arrogant, but I was listening. I was taking their advice. I just ain't gonna let them know I'm taking their advice. And as I got older, I realized that one of the keys to my success is that I love being wrong, right? Because when you're wrong, especially for men, I've watched pride kill a lot of people that I know, right? Pride is the Achilles heel of men, women too, but pride and ego. And I never really had an ego. I've always been able to sequester my ego, but pride is a different story because pride makes you argue and try to win arguments when you know you're wrong. Pride makes you do stupid stuff, right? And when you can say, hey, I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong. What people don't realize is that you now sequester your pride. And now your mind is truly open to all the possibilities. But if you stay stuck, then you're going to be arguing. You're going to argue with a person, and they just keep arguing with you, and you just let them go down that rabbit hole. Like, okay, you got it, but they still want to argue, and they're going down that rabbit hole, and then they just start making stuff up, and then you just realize they are truly lost because they believe in what they arguing about. And I know better, but I let them do it, bless their heart. But I know that being wrong is the path to being right. And now I can flourish. Now I can get to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing because nothing's holding me back, which is me holding me back. It's nobody else holding anybody back in this world. It's you holding out. Hey, bad things happen to good people, of course. But most of the bad things that happen to people is self-inflicted.
Decision.
Everybody got a choice, right? If you make the wrong choice, if you make the wrong choice, chop it up to the game and keep it moving, right? As long as you made a choice, right? It's like that's with acting. They don't know what they want. I don't know what they're trying to. They say what they want on paper. Well, we want it to be like this and this. They don't know. So you got to make a choice. There is no right choice, but it might be the choice that, hey, nobody there. There's 50 actors that made that choice, but you made that choice. I wonder why.
But also that choice could be permanent.
That choice could be permanent. And here's the thing. I've learned, besides the pride, I've learned I have control of my emotions. I can take any negative emotion, fear, hatred, envy, anger, despair, loathing. I'm sounding like Yoda, right? And I take any negative energy, not react to it, right? But put it in my pocket and use it for fuel for later. And you realize after about 10 minutes, you just forgot about what you was mad about because you didn't react to it. And now you have all those little experiences and all those things that triggered you in your pocket. So now if I get an audition, I got an audition where I got to argue with somebody. I was arguing with this stupid ass girl last week. So let me pull that out of my pocket, right? And now I don't have to find a character or be a caricature. I have the experience and just now I'm present. And now the character becomes me. And that's acting. And that's what makes it real. And to acquire the ability to do that and get those reps in to be able to do that, I am, just becoming a better actor day by day. All I can do is be a better man than I was yesterday. And that's all I strive for. It's not a real hardcore form. And let me tell you, all this crap I done said tonight is easier said than done.
Ain't that the truth?
Right?
That's the truth.
And people ask me all the time, what happens when you have fear and when you get depressed? And when I was like, fear, I was like, well, you be scared, but you keep it moving. You do two things at one time. You could do both. You could be scared and still run through that brick wall, right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to do that in life. right? So you better learn how to be two things at once. You better learn how to be depressed, but get your butt up out of bed and go do something, right? Do two things at once. And I am different, right? And this is what I tell people, and this is kind of in conclusion, is that it will never, ever, ever get easier, especially the older you get, right? It never gets easier, but it does get better. That's all we can hope for in life.
There
right?
you go. Yeah.
That's all we can hope for,
Wow.
man. So
Yeah.
I'll leave you guys with that. I think that's a good one. Unless you got some questions.
Well, I
You kind of
mean,
answered them anyway.
yeah,
you
you
just like
dropped some serious knowledge on us here tonight, man. That's some good stuff.
I mean, I do have life questions, but I just want to like pick your brain. I'm like, holy moly, we don't even have time
For everything, right? Because you have to think solutions, right? Well, and this is another I love when people complain to me. I love when they come to me with their problems. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, what's the solution? What? Blah, 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 blah. What? What's the solution? And you're wallowing in your misery so hard, and so you're like a pig in slop that you haven't even thought about the solution. Right? That's the problem. Right? And I tell people, I was like, look, this is all I can tell you what I do. I look at what I want, or I look at a problem and I just think about the solution. And I think of the most far-fetched, fantastical, pie in the sky solution or thing that I want. Oh, DC, you can't do that. Man, that ain't gonna work. Okay. But I see it. It is far-fetched. But then I said, well, what if I bring it back an inch? Yeah, it's still kind of out there. What if I bring it back? Well, you're kind of doing that now. If you just did this and that, bring it back more. Dang, you're practically doing that now. Let's just switch this a little bit, learn that. You might be there. Man, you're doing all that now. Well, I'm halfway there now, right? And what I've done is I've just created a reverse business plan, right? With a step ladder to my goals and dreams. You work your way back to practicality. And now you see everything that stands before you. Now it's time to put in the work. Now it's time to see what you're made of, because you see the steps of where you got to get. And that's how I break down problems and solutions and things that I want. Now, it doesn't sometimes go that way, the way I want it to, but then you can adjust and you just keep it, you work on it. And if everybody thought like that, you got to be able to see, if you say you want $1 billion, you got to be able to see it. What does that look like? Right? And then you got to bring it back. Well, what if I had $1 million? What can I do to get $50? You see what I'm saying?
That's where I am right now.
But if you bring it back, there are things that you can learn during that process that other people have done that you might be able to put your creativity to and do it a better way, because we all got talent. We all have something we're good at. We all have something that's untapped in us that can be the difference maker. That's why I love doing these, because somebody can take one thing that I say and it changes their life. Because my life has been changed by just one thing that people have said. So I know it works. So that's why I just run my damn mouth. And I want to thank you guys for coming here and run my mouth, because I love running my mouth. What better way to do it on?
Dude, no. What you've shared tonight, though, it really has been inspirational, very motivational. And I know there's a lot of people, I mean, just in these 4 squares of our video, that could use some of the advice that you have said. I'm talking about myself, but I think we've all been
yeah, my
there,
hand
but,
is very much raised here.
yeah.
Yeah. So
It's good stuff, man.
Like, I'm trying to be in Marvel movies. I want it all. People are like, what do you want? See, I'm like, I want it all.
Well, I'm on board with the Mandalorian thing. Whatever we can do, we'll start a hashtag.
We should start a hashtag, yeah.
DC in the Mandalorian.
Sprinkles
I don't know.
in Mandalorian.
Yes, Mandalorian sprinkles.
Star Wars
That's
sprinkles.
We got to make this happen now, because I love that show.
Just think if that happens, right? We talked about that.
Yep.
But how
That's
do you bring it back? You know, you
huh?
said if it's up here, how do you bring it down? What are the
And
steps?
so you
What's
bring it
that
back.
solution?
So it first starts with it started with okay. So for me to do that, how I have to find out what their casting process is, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do they cast? What do they do? Who can I find and build relationships that's in the end with Dave and John Favreau, right? Who does animation? That's how I got better at animation because one of the girls did the Clone Wars. A friend of mine, she was voicing for the Clone Wars. She was like, go to this person, train with her, get your demo done with her. And now I'm getting so many auditions for animation, it's unreal. And one of those
Cool.
auditions might be a new Star Wars thing. You just never know. Because now I'm with the biggest voiceover agents in the field. So when those little Star Wars things comes through, I'm in here trying to figure that out. They got to hear me, right? That's one way. The other way is, okay, I told my agents, I said, this is what I want to do. Find out how we got to do it, right? And then and then when I do a press release, I put it in a press release. If I do a commercial or if I do a ABC or Good Morning America or something like that, I throw it out there, right? Because I'm already there. All I got, if I do an article,
same company.
yeah, if I do an article in Variety, I throw it out there, right? That's how you work your way back. Now, it probably won't work. It might not work, but how much did it cost me to even try to do it? I just told you what I did, and all it costed was effort.
That's right.
Effort.
Well, it makes me think of that Paul Sun Hyung Lee, who's from a TV show called Kim's Convenience up in Canada. He is a huge Star Wars fan, and even like would dress up and cosplay as like a rebel fighter and other things.
That's
and
right.
then in the last season of Mandalorian, he
got
gets
to
to be
play
a rebel fighter,
a
and
rebel
that like
pilot.
he's an actor. He had some of the right connections, but they just saw that he was a fan, and somehow the word got around, you know?
And I told, and that's why I told my agent, I said, I said, all I need is 5 lines with The Rock. I'll do the rest. I know SEO. I know marketing. I can make it way bigger than what it is. I'll do a press release. It'll be like a red carpet event when I get done with it, right? But all I'm trying to do is little parts and big things.
That's great.
Make a whole career of that, because then I get to do my other stuff. I still get to go on tour. Geico about to sponsor a tour for us, right?
Uncle Iroh.
You see what I'm saying?
You got to come to Cleveland.
Sheer magnitude of thing. We get to go to Alaska this summer and scoop ice cream to kids for 4 hours for a stupid amount of money. I'm working on a USO tour, right? All the things, like all these things, all these things are things that I get to live my life to the fullest. I get to see the world. I get to see things I never would have saw. And that's what life is about. You get one life. One. That's why I go hard. I go hard. I'm going, hey, I love what I do. I wake up at 4 every morning and I go for it. And I don't have to, but I do because there's more to it, right? There's more to it. It's like I want to be remembered as that dude, right? Like, and the only way that and I tell people this all the time, it's the SEO thing, right? Because the only reason we revere Shakespeare and Van Gogh and all those famous artists is because somebody archived their stuff.
Right.
Playing Roger down the street, he was better than Shakespeare, but his scrolls burnt down in a house fire, right? If you're never archived, nobody will never know what you've done. And the rest of my life, I am archiving. I'm making a tag team museum. I'm making a DC the Brain Supreme museum, and everything will be archived through Wikipedia pages, through Wikidata, because the internet, now the real world has to be put into the digital world.
Right.
That's where the NFTs come in. There are going to be people that own stuff with me that's only going to be one copy made, and they will have it for the rest of the time, right? Think about the precipice of the technology that we're on, right? They made a vaccine in that amount of time. They did the things that they could do. So Elon Musk did a lifetime worth of work in 2 years. He got all them rockets running up there. He got all them satellites up there. Now he about to do his own cell phone. It's about to be a whole new technology with satellites using on the cell phone instead of fiber optics. Then he's about to make helicopters. He's about to make batteries. He's building a tunnel underneath LA to make transit. How? Right? You say how, but it's being done. And I said I will not be late on anything anymore. I am watching the world. I'm watching the two new technologies, and if they don't work, they don't work. But some are going to work, and all you need is one. You put your money behind it, and you don't have to work ever again.
If Elon invited you on one of those rockets, would you go?
Yeah, I go because I'm going to be remembered forever if I blow up or if I keep living.
Either way, it's a win-win.
Now that's the messed up way to think about it. And of course, I don't really think about it like that. But if you're going to think about it, that's the way to think about it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we know who blew up in rockets, and that ain't. We will always know who is blown up on rockets. They will live forever because they were at the forefront. That sacrifice had to be made for us to be where we're at now. So if that's my contribution to it, hey, so be it, because it ain't up to me, right? All I can say is yes or no. I can say no and be like, whew, I'm glad I didn't have to do that and walk outside and get hit by a car, right? You just don't know. So I just go for it, man. You know what I mean? They wanted me to do a CBS Survivor Celebrity. I was going to do it, but I couldn't do it because I had too many conflicts, right? But I would have did it. I wouldn't have cared. I would have looked stupid doing it. We about to be on Dancing with the Stars, but as a performance. Every time I tell people that, they're like, oh, man, I don't know about that. I'm like, no, you don't know performance. But I'll go on Dancing with the Stars and do the best I can, and everybody will love me for it because I gave 100% effort.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Sometimes there's a win and a loss. Right. You got to remember that it's not about whether you win or lose. It's about how, it's what you make out of the opportunity. Correct. Right. That's what you make out of opportunity. If you can get better and get to something else, think about what's the dude who was on like one of the first 3 Star Searches, the Wang dude. The Asian dude that sang crazy, right?
On American Idol.
Yeah.
Idol. Yeah.
He's going to the second. Yeah, Idol. I'm talking about Star.
William Hung.
William Hung. Yeah.
William Hung. Right. He was horrible, but how much money did he make after that?
He did.
Just for the attempt, right?
That's
it's
true.
how you look at things. It's how you look at things, and people appreciate you. People have empathy for people who put they all in the stuff, for real. You'll laugh at them at first, but then you'll feel sorry for them. You could do both, right? Hey, if somebody falls in the middle of the street, you laugh first, but then you be like, wait, hey, you okay? You okay, baby? You can do both, right? So that's how I kind of see everything. I just see things different. I try to hash things out differently and what outcomes can come and how I can turn it into something positive. Yeah. And, it don't work all the time, but it works enough to keep me happy. And
you certainly are doing well.
Hey, I tried.
Hey, we got one more question here from the audience. I figured I'd ask. So if you do make it on The Mandalorian, would you want to be a rebel, an Imperial, or an actual Mandalorian?
I would.
What's your dream role in that?
What they say. Think about it. Just think if I was think about I forgot Esposito, right?
Oh yeah,
Giancarlo.
He will always be known for Better Call Saul, but now he's always known for General. What's his name? General Goff.
That's just totally
Moff.
He's a Moff.
Totally blanked out.
His name. Yeah,
totally.
I blank out. We getting old. I'm getting old.
Definitely.
It's not old. It's seasoned.
Yeah, Aaliyah likes to call. She points out that we're seasoned.
You're still young. I can tell you, it's old. Okay.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon. That's it.
Yeah. Moff Gideon, right? What if they say, hey, we want you to play Moff Gideon? I'm saying, no, I want to be a bad guy. I'm like, heck yeah,
right.
Right?
So you take whatever. Yeah, I get it.
Be coldest, right? Like that. That's it. And he's always going to be around. So it's all good. It's like you got to have, an acting, they call it an antagonist, the hero, and the protagonist.
Right. Can't have one without the other.
Whatever I did, I'm going to put my thing on it. And I get to talk about it, and I get to say it, and I get to go to every Star Wars thing, and I get to, you know, think like perfect example. I look. Did you guys see the Boba Fett?
Oh yeah,
That the lead up to it.
Yeah.
That was just Boba Fett was just Boba Fett. Now Boba Fett got his own thing. So many years later,
right.
Boba Fett's like he's always been there. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
He got what 6 minutes of screen time in the whole Star Wars saga. Right now, he got the show, and you just love how they brought him in The Mandalorian. Like it was so dope how they did it, and then it was just like wow. Like you can. I just love their imagination. And they have just resurrected and brought back my childhood in ways that I can't even explain to them. And I'm so grateful to them for that, because there was, you know, I saw Star Wars when I think I was like 12, and then 15 when I saw The Empire Strikes Back. Be a cognizant human being and see The Empire Strikes Back real time.
Yeah.
In that era blew you away, because there's nothing ever like that. That's why it was such wonderment. You were like, oh, you would sneak back in to see it again and again and again and again.
No spoilers. Aaliyah hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, we're working on. No,
I'm not. It's
we're
not that
taking
I'm
her
like.
through it a little bit at a time. We're
I haven't
working her up
seen.
to it.
I've only seen one Star Wars movie.
I understand that, and it's, you know, and that's the debate everybody had. Like we have those debates with hip hop. They're like, you know, which generation was the best in hip hop? And it's like they're all good, because
right.
If you live through them all, they're all good, because they're a part of your life, and they all have memories that have affected you, right? But if you miss the generation, there's no way you could possibly even know. It's corny to you because you've never seen it, you never lived it, right? But if you grew up in the 90s, everybody's like Biggie, Nas, boom, boom, this, that. But you go back to the 80s, you Tone Loc, Slick Rick, Salt and Pepper, right? LL Cool J, Run DMC. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That was the beginning, right? That was when it was like we were growing up and we were new, right? Like, you know, so, you know, people, what do you think about the hip hop now? It's like, I can't tell you because I don't listen to it. I don't listen to music no more, because I've been a DJ all my life.
Yeah.
And this is the thing of getting old or seasoned.
Yep.
Things that you used to love, you despise.
Interesting.
And it happens. It's maturity. You got sense now.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe I used to do that.
I say that about a lot of things.
Yeah,
but
I might have an ugly. I might look like I'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" I just thought back to time when I was in 4th grade when I did this. Woo, 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 woo. Right?
I do that now. I can't imagine what I'm.
It happens. I'm telling you, it happens so much. But then what I do is I write down those things, so when I need a trigger for acting, I'm there, right? And they serve me so well. I can flip through that book like, what can I use for this? And then I'm there, and then I'm there for real. And then all I gotta do is be less is more, but have that feeling, and then it's so real, right? You don't have to be. For the longest, for me, acting, I was overacting. I was talking loud. I was, hey everybody, blah, 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 like most actors do, until one of my professors, teachers was like, DC, why are you talking loud? You got a microphone on. I can whisper like this and talk like this, and it's just like if you listen to like when Luke was talking in the last episode of Mandalorian, how he was like whispering. He wasn't talking, he was whispering. Look at actors from here on out, and you'll see they're whispering because they're talking to a microphone right here. They don't got to be loud, and it's more realistic because we're having a conversation with each other. Isn't that crazy? Took me 14, like the 14th time. I couldn't figure it out until somebody told it to me a different way, and then I got it. And sometimes it takes that many times. That's why things are hard, because sometimes it just takes that 14th time where it's like, oh, that's what them other people meant. So, hey, y'all, I gotta go. I got an early morning tomorrow, and
I was gonna say thank you so much for your time, man. We appreciate it. Why don't you real quickly just tell everybody where they can find more information, where they can your website and things like that.
Type in anything tag team, you're gonna find me. But there's a lesson for all you
SEO
people out there.
There you go.
Keep your stuff consistent. You type in DC Glenn ATL on any platform, you're gonna find me. You type in Tag Team Whoomp for Tag Team, you're gonna find us. Simple. Just want consistency across the board. And remember, you don't need 1 million people to like you. Just need 2,000 to pay you.
That's
Bam.
right. Good advice, man. Thank you so much for all the knowledge you dropped on us here tonight, man. It's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Right,
We appreciate your time.
So many more questions. All
Thanks.
Hey, I'll come back. Hey, just hop on, man. I love doing it. Cool. All right.
Awesome.
You
We
bet.
appreciate it. You're the best. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was a lot of fun, man. He is really just, I think this was the most educational episode of the World Gone Geek we've ever had.
How much smarter and wiser are we all?
Right?
Holy cow.
Really good stuff. Yeah, so we're also way over our time as we normally would go, but I mean, it was awesome. And so we'll edit out some of the stuff that,
like the first 30 minutes of just us
when we were just kind of trying to fill time before we got here. But no, it was really great to have him on the show. It was fantastic. We want to make sure we don't have a 90-second geek rant this week. But I do want to let you guys know, right? We want to hear from you. We want you to call or go into our speakpipe.com/worldgonegeek. You have 90 seconds to make your voice heard about whatever it is that's on your mind. Maybe DC said something that really resonated with you and you want to chime in about that. Maybe you're all hyped up about the Spider-Man trailer that just dropped or the Spider-Verse trailer. It's a lot of Spider-Man going on.
Yeah, a lot of
Morbius
Spider-Man.
too. There was a Morbius trailer and
it's just out of control. Maybe you've got an opinion. Maybe you want to, a prediction or something. We might save predictions till after the fact because we don't want spoilers.
I hate spiders.
But we want to hear from you. So speakpipe.com/worldgonegeek, 90-second geek rant. We want to hear from you. So special thanks to DC Glenn, our guest, for being here. As always, thanks to my partners in crime, Utah and Aaliyah, for being here as well.
I'm saluting.
Waving.
If you're listening on the podcast, you're once again missing the fact that Aaliyah is waving.
Aaliyah is waving.
That's right.
That's a new hashtag right there.
Aaliyah waving.
Hashtag Aaliyah's waving.
Aaliyah's waving. There you go. All right. Well, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok,
Instagram.
At World Gone Geek, pretty much everywhere you decide to get social. So get social. And we're growing our Patreon account, so check us out there. You can score some swag, hear exclusive audio eventually, and including what gets said after the show when it ends. With tiers as low as $5 a month, get on the fun and support the show at the same time. So make sure that you come back next week. We'll see you. Take care.
Bye, Shine.